Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday, February 6th, 2025. This is Sahavas for everyone on Baba Zoom. Tonight we have a special session called, can you see my screen if I share my screen? It's called, why is the picture not showing up? There it is. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So this is the Sahavas for everyone. Avatar Mayor Bobbin is 12 ways of realizing me, and today is February 25th, February 2025. Peace of mind. If you have the peace of a frozen lake, then too you will realize me. Baba said. That's way number 2, peace of mind. If you have the peace of a frozen lake, then too you will realize me. So I brought some things to share. I know that Vanessa brought some things to share. So, and I see we have somebody else joined.
Marsha.
Michelle?
Marsha.
Marsha? Do you want to come on? Good evening, Marsha. You're on mute. Okay, Vanessa, you're on. Do you want to go first?
I was just looking up some quotes and I got a story. I just kind of typed in peace of mind, and then I got some Lord Mayhair entry. So there's a little bit of a story, but I think it's good. It was insightful. I had never heard this before.
Yeah, do it.
So it's page 2997 from Lord Mayhair. And this was June 1951 in Hyderabad. But it said, some perfect masters thought that the mind must be diverted if it is to be killed. Mind makes the ego say, I am body. Therefore, make the mind say, I am not the body. I am not this. I am not that. I am God. Now, this too is almost impossible because the mind has false impressions. And to make this false mind say what it feels to be false is like a hypocritical act. Thus, for example, the mind knows that it is Mr. So-and-so. Now, if this person's mind says, I am not a human being, but I am God, then at that very moment, the mind feels it is lying. The result is this tires out the heart, the emotions, and any love. The mind cannot do actionless actions since it says, I am God. What have I to act for? Mind cannot forget itself in devotion because it says, I am God, to whom to pray. So, mononash is impossible. But if selfless action, even if not perfect, is persistently done, a stage is reached when mind is permanently at peace. It sees God, but it is not yet destroyed. If through bhakti yoga a stage of devotion is reached by which constant devotion is attained, then this peace of mind and seeing of God comes. So if one says, I am God, I am not the body, and persists in saying this with 100% faithfulness at the cost of everything, then this peace of mind is achieved. But for Mananash, there is always one thing. One who is free can uproot the minds of others, even of the masses. Even the past prophets and avatars had to have the help and grace of the perfect ones in order to achieve the annihilation of their minds. In short, there are all these ways to attain mononash and to make you feel that you are God, infinite and eternal. But it is rightly said that when you cannot step out of your nature, how can you aspire to enter the threshold of the beloved? So I just thought that was very insightful.
That was perfect, love.
Yeah.
You want to hear something funny?
Yeah, what?
I found the same quote and put it on this slide.
You did? Oh, great minds think alike. Did you get it from the same story
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I like that it had like an evolution of different ways of describing reaching Mononash, but I'd never really heard that you could have that, you just attend to such selflessness, the service.
Yep.
I mean, that makes sense, but
I
because
thought
then
it was
you're not thinking
incredible.
about yourself, right? You're kind of just it's the provisional ego.
Well, it's beyond provisional ego. I think it's about not thinking of oneself the way you said. So in the provisional ego, you're still thinking about yourself, but you're trying to transfer it to the master. And in what Baba's talking about there, that I think that's even better because you're like not thinking about yourself at all.
Right. The I is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're
Yep.
just doing.
I want to acknowledge that Viola has joined us. Hello, Viola. You're on mute, just so you know.
Hi, you all. Jay Bob.
Hey, how's it going? You look very cozy and warm there.
It is. It is. Thank you. How are you all doing?
Oh, we're doing great. You missed the beginning, but we're doing 12 ways of realizing me and way number 2, peace of mind.
So, sorry, 12 ways of what?
There's a message from Meher Baba called 12 ways of realizing me.
Okay.
We're doing way number 2, which is peace of mind.
Oh, that's for tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. We can also share about anything we want, but that's the theme of tonight.
No, it's what I need. I'm
Oh, you need peace of
grateful.
mind? You need peace
Well,
of mind?
at the moment. Yep. Yeah.
It was great to see you at Maribod, by the way.
Lovely to see you, and Vanessa, lovely to see you, and Diane and Marcia, so good to see you all. I'll put on a little more light. I know it's dark. I had the light.
You're fine. You're
Oh,
fine.
okay, as long as it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't
Save
have
the
to.
electricity. What the heck?
Yeah, it's fine. Any comments on what Vanessa just shared?
Sorry, I didn't hear Vanessa.
Oh, you want to read it again, Vanessa?
Well, you have the quote up right up. Why don't you pull up your quote and then we can discuss that
Okay.
part of it.
Okay. I didn't get as much as Vanessa did, but I got the crux of it. If selfless action, even if not perfect, is persistently done, a stage is reached when mind is permanently at peace. It sees God, but it is not yet destroyed. If through bhakti, a stage of devotion is reached by which constant devotion is attained, then this peace of mind and seeing of God comes. So if one says, I am God, I am not the body, and persists in this saying with 100% faithfulness at the cost of everything, then this peace of mind is achieved. But for Mononash, there is always one thing. One who is free can uproot the minds of others, even of the masses. Even the avatars had to have such perfect ones to uproot their minds. And as Vanessa rightly said, this was Lord Meher 2998 in the online version. So thoughts, feelings about that quote? Anybody?
I think Erich exemplified that.
Oh, yeah,
Light.
absolutely. If you want to speak, you can come off mute. I put Diane and Terry on mute because of the background noise of the phone call.
I'm thinking maybe Mother Teresa was going through that, like uprooting of the mind. I mean, she was constantly in the
Yeah.
selfless service. And then, they had asked her about her journey and she had experienced this like dark night of the soul while doing all that for like decades. Not feeling God, not having, but just in some sort of, deep, I guess, transformation stage.
I love that. And she was such an example. Viola, Marcia, Diane, and Terry, any comments on that before we continue? Just a reminder, Vanessa's got to drop off at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
So on the reading, any, is that what
Oh,
you're?
it could be related to the reading or anything that comes up as a result. It doesn't have to be directly about the reading. We're pretty loose around here. We don't have a lot of rules.
Well, Jay Baba,
Jay Baba.
and one reason I came on is because I do listen to the radio sometimes when I'm cooking, and you know, I'm asking Baba, does he want me to do anything around what appears to be, not appears to be, is occurring um, in the country he's put me? Because I do think about World War, think about Nazism. And if good people are silent, I think about it. And yeah, I can't pretend what's happening isn't. And I am Baba's. And I know when I'm feeling most clear, just to focus on him and to trust he's doing it all as it should be done, meaning everything in the world, not even the leaf falls without my wishing it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm going to revisit again Baba's words on World War II, and again Peter's talk about Baba's words on war and destruction, because I came on tonight because I am deeply disturbed, and I don't think Baba my parents met Baba. My parents were activists. One marched with King, one marched against the Vietnamese War. One was involved in trying to implement civil rights on the local level. And it does look a bit as though we are in a place in the country where either there's a mass psychosis, as there was in Germany, or a lot of good people aren't doing something. That's how it looks to me. So before coming on, I just asked Baba on my knees, do you want me to do anything? And I don't know. So that's what got me here.
I'm glad you're here. It's great to see you, Viola.
Good to see you all.
Yeah.
I came in by accident.
And Terry's hand go up.
I came in by accident. I thought it was a meditation with Stuart Baker, so I just kind of landed here.
Oh, sorry to disappoint.
But I'm interested. No, it's okay. It was a good place to land. I just wanted.
I am not Stuart Baker, but I guess he and I are one, so maybe I am Stuart Baker.
Maybe. Well, we're all one anyway.
Yeah. Diane and Terry had a hand up. Diane and Terry had their hand up. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I didn't know we were on mute. I've had a lot of the same issues that you have, and I've worked through some of them, and I was wondering if I could share that with you, because it might be helpful, but I don't like to tell people what to do or anything.
Yeah, maybe we could have it as your experience rather than like a crosstalk.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's interesting because I finished therapy today, and I haven't been for a couple of weeks because my therapist was out of town. And a lot of just quickly, my therapist and I, even though we were total strangers to each other, have a lot in common. In fact, one of her best friends growing up was a Baba person. So she isn't at all, but she's Jewish and was at the temple with our donor and it just magical. Baba just set it up magically. And what I get from it is that Baba set this up magically. And how I can decide what it is I need to do is by my body's energy, my intuition, what Baba tells me. But I've recently retired and had my knee replaced, and I am a wiped out person. And Baba literally told me, you've been of service your whole life. You need to be of service to yourself. And it's okay to be of service to yourself. You don't have to feel selfish or, like you're holding back. But what I do, and I do it a lot, is I send a lot of love. I refuse to go into hatred. And because I can send so much love, even to Trump, to everybody in the whole world, it just flows out of me. And that's what Baba wants me to do. And that's my work. And I feel comfortable with that. In the old days, before I even knew I was with Baba, I protested. We went to Washington. We did everything. The fact that he wants to literally to make us disappear in the first week of his, and trans people and all of that is so ridiculous to me. Like I can't even believe we've worked so hard for him to do this stuff that I literally laugh at it. I don't think he's going to get there personally. I think a lot is going to be given to humanity right now. I don't think it's just America. I don't listen to the news anymore, but I read every day, and I think it's humanity. I think it's our planet. And people get so focused on one thing that they want that they ignore all the other things. And that's how they voted for him, because they thought that there was going to be a lot of attention paid to to medicine and to things that they thought weren't good for our bodies. And unfortunately, and this is what Bob has taught me, is that what we have inside of us is what's good for us. And what you have inside of you is good for you. And the politicians can't tell us what's good for us. Only we can tell us what's good for us. Religion can't tell us. The Pope can't tell us. No one can tell us what's good for us except us. And until that's part of humanity, I don't know what has to go down. He said that World War II was for that it really helped women get ahead because the men had to go to war. And so the women in our country and all over the place had to step up and be, more prominent in society.
In the workforce.
And because of it, it's, slowly we go forward a few steps, we go back a few steps. If we're women of color, we're still fighting for but I can't believe that we're going to wipe out the entire planet. There needs to be a few of us left to have babies, and there needs to be a few of us left to be able to share our wisdom of love and kindness to whoever is going to be left on the planet. So I think for me, I'm in the most positive place I've ever been inside of myself with Baba. And the timing couldn't be any better because I've had so much time on my hands to work through so much. And I feel, I'm not saying this is 100% of the time, but for today, I feel incredibly grateful that I have Baba. I feel like the luckiest person on the planet because of it. And I'm going to do his work that he tells me to do. And it's that simple. I'm not making it complicated. I'm not worrying about it. I'm just doing what he tells me to do. And so far, I have some freedom. So I'd call that peace.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I have to live with.
You got it rough. You got it rough.
So I don't have it as easy I'm not there yet, but it is wonderful to know what there looks like. I'm more where Viola is. And I used to watch MSNBC a lot before Baba, a lot. Then I started wean down and I was like Lawrence and Rachel. And sometimes during the, who am I lying? I had it on a lot while I was working and it was in the background.
She also had a lot of Bubba stuff, a lot in the background too.
Right.
Knows a lot of stuff that I don't, songs and things I don't even know.
But when this came down in November, I haven't been able to hardly absorb anything live. I read the news every day and I read the articles. I'm quite aware what's going on, but it does affect my peace of mind without question. And nobody is any good if they're messed up internally, no matter what. But Terry and I are both similar in the aspect that we just retired after a lifetime of service. And right now I'm hoping that the baton has been passed to the younger people, the people with lots of energy, and people who can step up. We're not without contributing monetarily and passing on love. On a daily basis, we've made the commitment to be as pleasant as we can and just from the bottom up make other people feel good just by being loving and open. And
And
we have
helping.
and we have noticed such a difference. First of all, we're out in the world more now that Terry can walk more. We've kind of been sequestered since October and actually since May. Just limited with mobility. And we are reaping the benefits of connecting with people. And right now, that feels where we can put our work. Each person has their own way of being silent and their own way of being present and helpful and a service and being of service. It does gnaw on me sometimes to not be able to do more. But that peace of mind thing, I find that I go to almost anything right now that helps calm my inner nerves.
Yeah, awesome.
Jay
Awesome. Thank you.
Baba.
Thank you,
Thank you,
guys.
Baba. Marcia, I did see your hand go up. I also want to be honoring that Vanessa only has 5 more minutes and then she has to drop. So Vanessa, did you have one more to share?
I have a little story. It's not related to what you guys have been talking about, but if you guys want to hear it, and then I
Yeah.
gotta jump
I
off.
just had
Okay.
one sentence I wanted that popped in my mind.
Okay.
Be in the world, but not of it.
Mhm.
Just continually detach, detach, detach. And if we start worrying and take in all that fear, then we don't help Baba
Mhm.
because he's got a plan. And if you trust him and have faith in him, it's his show. I feel like we're players on the stage and we're doing his work. So if you fall into the negative, like the Maya, that's just what you just have to have faith that he's all this has to come up. It's like a boil bursting, and I'll let you go, Vanessa. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcia.
I think of it the same way, like a big zit that has to be popped. Well, how else does change happen? It has to be upheaval first, right? So this one is also from Lord Mayher, and I was kind of surprised by it. It's a little bit dramatic, but it says on Wednesday, 18th of December, 1929, 2 Germans named Victor Stomps and Philip Bobble came to Nasik for Baba's darshan. The other German, Philip, openly expressed a wish to live with the master. Baba informed him, "You may stay here for a few days to determine whether such a life suits you, after which I will instruct you spiritually. But don't worry about anything. Keep your mind steady and one-pointed. Be firm in your resolve and do not waver." After considering this, Philip consented, and comfortable arrangements for his boarding and lodging were made. Baba appointed 2 of the Mandali to look after him and ordered them to be mindful of all his needs. But the following day, Philip announced that he had decided to go elsewhere on pilgrimage. Why? Baba asked, "Were you uncomfortable here?" Nothing of the sort, but my mind is too active. Baba then advised him, as long as your mind is actively working, you will never be at ease. If you wish to be at peace, keep your mind steady. You may go on pilgrimage now and have that experience also. Baba concluded, the mind is the root of all disturbance in the world. If you submit to it, you will never be able to follow a guru and find God. Philip Bobble left on his pilgrimage, never to meet Baba again.
Let's talk about that. What's the message there for you, love?
Slippery. Oh my God, she's so cute.
Hi. Hi. Hi,
I got
Mama.
a special delivery.
Oh, look
She's
at
very
that.
ready for bed. Hi, guys.
Hi, Margie.
Mm-mm-mm.
Hi, Monty.
Did you hear my question, love?
Go ahead.
Why did that quote touch you? Like, what is that quote about for you? I'd like to
Well,
hear
I think
that.
it was just, it spoke to what we were just talking about, that, we have to be one-pointed on Baba and just trust, right? And he was saying, if you're going to be here with me, focus on me and the goal, and not, be distracted by your mind, because your mind, automatically it took him away. And then it literally, Baba's, just said, okay, you're going to go, you chose in your mind, basically. And so,
Well, and that fellow short-circuited Baba's guidance. Do you remember Baba said, stay here for a few days and then I will guide you? The guy
yeah,
didn't even last long enough to get the guidance.
right. No coaching there.
Well, probably another lifetime. He's not ready.
Yeah.
To add to what Marcia said, which adds to what Vanessa said, a one line that somebody said this week that
Mhm.
really stayed with me was, don't get ahead of Baba.
That's
And
a good
that
one.
resonated with me
Mm.
so strongly. Because Diane, you can't cherry pick what you believe in about Baba. You either go in and trust him,
Yep.
or
Marsha,
leave before guidance.
yeah, right. Marsha's got her
I mean,
hand.
he told us not to worry. So, I mean, it seems like the simplest, but the hardest thing ever.
Right, but I said to Peter Nordine, who we were graced with this past week, that I'm worrying about how long this Earth will really last with the climate crisis. And I thought, well, if Baba always did all this seclusion work about what was the future, that meant there was going to be a future. But then I heard something about not necessarily on this planet. That really messed me up.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the illusion goes on. What does it matter if it's this planet or another planet? I mean, they're just
It will
attachments.
be
Right?
in a different life, honey. You don't have to go
Yeah, we
there.
might have tiny heads and, whatever. I mean, it's his creative design.
Totally.
All right, I saw Marsha's hand go up. Go ahead, Marsha.
I didn't raise it, but
Oh, I
when
saw
I
it.
finally
Lower it.
surrendered to Baba, when I finally admitted that Baba to me is who he is and that I chose to be with him, then I have to trust him, and I always feel like I'm always saying detach, 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 because you can't help picking up things from everybody. But everybody's connection is directly to Baba, and each one is individual, and we're all separate, but we're really all one. So it's hard to realize. But once I surrendered and said,
Mm.
I really trust that you're who you are, and because
Mm.
I'm Jewish, and this was impossible in the
Mm.
beginning to accept Baba as God. Couldn't give me a break, right? And then I started looking in college, I actually, funny because I graduated college in January 1969, and then I got really sick and almost passed. And all these years, I always believed in God, but to me now, this whole thing is is this really real, And it isn't. He says it's illusion, right? So
Mm.
it's just to me, I feel like we're in Baba's play, and we're his little lights, And you just have, if you don't believe in him, like he said with the other person, go find your thing because you don't trust me. Well, you make a choice, and when you
Yeah.
choose, You don't run around to different gurus and different people, and if somebody's arguing about a word or this or that, it doesn't matter. If you believe in God, if it's Jesus or Buddha or whatever, that's your choice. And all the roads are all in the same boat, as Jeff Wolverton would say. But you just have to, like, I fight all the time with my mind. That's the thing. It's the mind. You have to tame the mind. And so right now I say to myself, mind, stop, and let Baba come through the mind into the heart. I have to do that all the time, all the time.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
It's just what I have to do. I can't help it, because otherwise my mind goes off. Should I do this? Should I do that? And then I've been listening to Meher Krupa on Friday, every other Friday. And we were talking about, I don't know, with somebody about free will. And yeah, we have free will about the amount of to stand on one leg. And they said, and if you try to pick up both legs, you can't, because you don't really have, this is all laid out, whatever his plan is, but it's really scary sometimes. Yeah.
It can be scary. It can be scary. I want to segue from what Marcia just said, because I brought something else, and I think it's really totally connected to what Marcia just shared, if that's okay. Let's see here. Can you see my slide? Were you able to see that slide?
It was, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, this is from Lord Mayhair, page 4897. I am the avatar of the age. I am the avatar of this age. Next year is a very critical year. See that my Daman does not slip from your hands then. Hafez says, do not try for realization, because even to try for it is sheer madness. Have only one madness, to become as dust at the feet of the perfect master. Then Baba explains the Hafiz. To become dust means to completely surrender your heart and mind, so that you are, as it were, already dead. There is no shanti on this path. If you want peace of mind, then you can get it elsewhere and in other ways. You can go for pleasant long walks in nature, or listen to soothing music, or take sedatives, or go to saints and sadhus. But here is not the place to come for it. For if you come to me, remember that the spiritual path is full of hardships and sufferings, while at other places you can get peace of mind, for they know nothing about the path. Hafez says, he who does not surrender to a perfect master cannot attain God. There is thus only one remedy. Hold fast to the perfect master's Daman, even if you feel that he is going to drop you into a pit. Hafez says, forego all prayer to God. Pray only to the perfect master. Hold fast to his Daman, and you will realize God. I found that today while looking for a quote for this, and I thought that was perfect.
That was perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny because I just chose that number as part of my password, 1963, because that was the year my father passed away. So when he said that, I said, wow, that's coincidence. But all these kind of things, you ever notice all the synchronicities with Baba, with numbers, names, and places and things? So every time you start to have a little doubt, all of a sudden you say, wow, look at that. That's my birthday, or this is that. It's like, okay. And he really handles everything to the penny, to the dot. Like
Yep.
exactly how many hangers you hang your clothes up on in the closet, like weird stuff, anyway.
Thank you, Marcia. Thoughts and feelings about that long quote? You're on mute. Diane and Terry, you're on mute.
We
Oh,
know.
yeah, we meant to be muted.
Oh, I thought somebody was trying to speak.
I was gonna,
Go ahead, Viola.
yeah, I mean, one thing I witnessed when, I got to help in India. Um, right, it's not about, um, there's a lot of tamasha that goes on, a lot of suffering. I was just listening again to An Act of God, the video that Bob did about the accident in 56. And it hadn't struck me before when listening to it, but at the end, Marwan's talking about his brother Erich. So get this. Erich has been in the accident. He's got broken ribs. He's lifted the other guys into a truck into which he himself was put when he passed out from doing it with the broken ribs. He had said to Baba previously, Baba, please don't make me drive anymore. Erich had described this driving marathon, one of them, that he went with Baba, 36 straight hours north, and Baba had him, no, we're not stopping, we're turning around. Can you make that 36 hours in 24? I'll try, Baba. The experience he had, he said, was because they did a lot of it, half of it obviously at night. It was like being in a tunnel. He couldn't even see the road. And the experience of such terror, distress, just hanging, doing this. And then after this, Baba said, Erich pleaded, I don't want to do this. And Baba, oh, you're mad. Forget about it. And Erich said, Baba, I beg you, Baba, I beg you. Sometimes I just wanted to take that wheel and go into the curb and be done with it. I beg you. And Baba said, no. And Erich was, in fact, driving the car when Nilu died. And this was the thing that really struck me this time when I heard it. From Marwan. He's in the hospital. He is being prosecuted for negligent driving by the state. They're coming to interrogate him. When he goes to see Baba, when he first gets out of the hospital, this went on for years, this prosecution. Baba said to Erich, happy? Happy? Yeah, you drove it into the ditch. Happy? So, I think being with Baba, it's not for sissies. And of course, later on, Erich said Baba soothed him and said everything I did, Erich. But Erich was depressed for years. Baba's suffering was unbelievable. So I was just I was so touched by watching it again and getting it again and more. That, being with Baba isn't a cakewalk or, a waltz with Strauss playing. I don't know. I don't know. That's part of being with Baba. And, I had so wanted to be of service in a certain way. And somebody younger, took the role that I had been having. And the service that I had been doing, it shifted because the Mandali left. But I watched her suffering, and I knew my suffering while I was trying to do it. I guess I don't know. It's so depressing. I'm so depressing. I'm sorry, guys, but it's true. It's not like I'm making it up. This is life with Baba. Mara, while she was so beautiful and said, oh Baba, during that time they were in the East Room, and they didn't even go into the compound for a walk. Never leaving the room except through a corridor of tata into the kitchen. Never to be alone, never to read, not to write. Baba was away so much of that time. And she had said to a close one, you wouldn't have believed it. And also she's so gracious the way she presents. It was so courteous and considerate of Baba to put up the tata. It would rain or get very hot. But they didn't, I mean, it's not, I don't know. I just, most of the time I'm pretty happy. But tonight I just happened to hear hear what's happening. And I'm like, bloody, you know what? Yeah.
No judgment here, sister. No judgment here.
Yeah.
All right, I saw Dan and Terry's hand go up during all that.
So this is where I get a little confused. Baba forced him to keep driving, just like he made Elizabeth drive faster and faster. They both got in accidents. I don't know what he said or didn't say.
He wasn't driving fast when the
No,
accident.
I know, but
yeah,
with Elizabeth it was fast.
Yes.
With Eric, it was long.
Can I respond to that for a second,
Yeah.
Diane? You use the word force. I'm not sure that's the best word.
Okay.
They both obeyed Baba's instructions. That's different than force. And Baba said that he did tremendous spiritual work through both of those accidents. So it's probably incomprehensible to mere mortals, including myself, what kind of work that was and how going faster helped his work.
But I guess where I get that, thank you for that, the big difference, I agree. But that he then turned and blamed Erich, I don't get that.
for me, it's
He was
just
supposed to
that
obey but not mess up.
it's that life with Baba of humiliation, of being excoriated at every turn
And then soothe.
till they're dust. That's how I take it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Baba gave an example of when you try to break metal, it doesn't break. But if you go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, eventually it snaps. But the first time it's not going to break. And it seems like these experiences of opposites, like Baba saying, if I ever appreciate the company of anybody in my life, it's that of Erich, like praising him to the moon, like the closest male disciple. And just everybody knew how much Baba loved Erich, and then also poking him and needling him. And it wasn't easy to be Erich, So I think it's Baba's work for all of humanity when he does that to Erich. Because if you read in the discourses, he says, all of the close mandali are already one with me. They have these special sanskaras that I use to do work. But Baba also said, if I try to explain the work I do, it makes more work for me. So I'm not going to explain that. He said that. So there's a level of faith and trust in how Baba works that I have, and I encourage other people to have, where we're never going to understand it with our limited intellect. It's so beyond what we can fathom. I believe it's work through archetypes. I believe they each were archetypes. And Erich said very plainly that his weakness was gluttony, food. And I think each one of the mandali had a weakness, and Baba worked with each one of them on segments of humanity, huge segments of humanity. But that's just my conjecture. I don't know. All right, but it does segue to something I wanted to share, if that's okay.
Okay.
Can you see this screen here? Do you see the quotes? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, good. Viola, your comments reminded me of the one at the bottom. When I was contemplating this meeting today, I thought, okay, I don't know a whole lot about peace of mind, but I do know about barriers to peace of mind. If that makes any sense. I know what gets in the way. So I thought it might be good to talk about that, to try to find the antidote to the barriers. Anxiety, depression, lust, anger, greed, desires of all kinds. They keep the mind from being settled and peaceful. And of course, anxiety and depression are quite different. My therapist once said to me that anxiety is about the future, depression is about the past, and contentment is about the present moment. And I thought that was fantastic. And then, of course, Baba said that the three primary tools of Maya are lust, anger, and greed. And he said, of those three, anger is the worst. And I think that's probably because anger harms others, and lust and greed are more about oneself. But harming others through anger is really not a good way to function. And then, of course, desires keep the mind active. It's never satisfied. There's always something more. You get the new car, and then you see the better new car, and you're like, oh, I didn't see that. I want that too, or I want an airplane, or I want a trip to Italy, or whatever. There's always a desire. So I thought that was really a useful thing to share. And then one of my favorite quotes ever, and also one of Vanessa's favorite quotes, is at the top. I thought it would be good to share. In everyday life, take no risks. And he was also talking about your health. In business, take a few risks, but to find God, take every risk. I thought that was very beautiful. So
Thank you for sharing it.
you like those?
No, appreciate your share. And also, Diane, I felt like I didn't really respond or maybe fully understand what you were asking. So just wanted you to know I heard you.
You're so sweet.
Love you all here. So grateful. You guys, I'm supposed to have dinner on by 8. It's 10:00. I totally forgot.
You have to go.
I love you. I'm so glad you were here. Thank you for sharing with me. Everybody helped me so much, really. And the identification and just the embrace in Baba. Thank you. And
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.
Order a pizza.
now I'm putting one in the oven. Frozen.
This is good.
Love you all.
Viola.
Jai
Love you.
Baba.
Jai Baba.
You're such a gift.
You guys are. And Marcia, thank you for that detach. Whoa, almost knocked over my banjo.
That's my mantra. I'm not
like
this
an
body,
affirmation.
I'm not this mind. I
Oh,
remember you
right.
said I'm not this. You recite that good. Recite that. I'm not this, I'm not my body.
No,
Yeah.
you have it. You have that affirmation. That's great.
I'm not the lie within. For the truth to live, the lie must die. Something like that. It's misquoted. But I first heard it from Viola and
Oh, really?
Philip Krieger. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a powerful affirmation.
Well, I've got a bunch of them memorized, and when I go to bed at night after doing all kinds of whatever I'm supposed to be doing, then I get in bed and I like look at all these things, and I said, I don't have to do all that. All I have to do is the one prayer, the one that Baba recited, the prayer of repentance takes place. So you don't have, but we do 101 names of God. We do everything to hang on to Baba's Dhamma, and otherwise, it's like I'd hide under the bed. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
I
listen to the news. I can't. I listen a little bit, but everybody's so freaked out and they're like, nobody, there's nothing that I know that I believe that I hear from anybody. I really don't. You know, everybody's got their opinion and you just have to like keep that mind still. That's all I can try to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I call it whatever works.
Oh,
So
yeah, you
whatever
gotta,
prayer works, go with that.
the best thing is when I'm painting or writing or doing something like
Yeah.
that, you know, yeah.
I've been thinking
Yeah.
of Fred Dacus with Mind, Stupid
Oh, I
Mind.
love that song. I remember him singing that, yeah. That was the first Baba stuff I started watching was his show, you know, his hour. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
You know,
Mind,
I
Stupid
find
Mind.
that,
I miss him.
yeah,
Yeah.
when
Well, I
I,
know a lot of people have passed. Baba's taken a lot of people recently. So what I figure is that we're here because we're supposed to be here, and you better enjoy every moment because at any moment anything can change, like with fires and hurricanes. So you're just, you know, just thank God that you have what you have, and you know, we still have desires, and we're human, so we're not perfect. You know, if we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. So it's like a big school, I think. Yeah. Anyway.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you, Marcia.
I have definitely felt the need to show up to more things Baba related, especially during this time, because it feels like it meets where psychology and spirituality intersect. And I have had more peace of mind because of what I hear in these squares about how people are navigating through their lives. I take a little here, a little there, a quote here, a quote there. It's been very, very helpful.
Awesome. Super awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Should we have a moment of silence with Baba before we wrap
Can
up?
I just say one more thing?
Of
The
course.
best thing is to get out in nature, like take a walk and look at the trees and go to the ocean and then just let it all go, you know, and it's really helpful. Yeah.
Avatar Mayor Baba Ki Jai.
Avatar,
Avatar Maya Baba Ki Jai.
Avatar,
Avatar
Avatar
Maya
Mayor
Baba
Baba
Ki
Ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Have safe travels, whatever you're doing over